Big up everyone. Welcome to Adam Dow 2025. This is your video. I'll be making this video. So I want to talk about the things that we kind of learned and my thoughts on Brazil's last two South American World Cup qualifier match for CONMEBOL against Chile and Bolivia. So yeah. So all right. Let's get into it. So I want to mention this. So yeah, Brazil has made it once again to the World Cup. Brazil has never missed the World Cup, ever. And of course, we were expected to do it. But there's unfortunately some negatives, not just in this window, but also the whole campaign. So yeah. So yeah, I kind of didn't have access watching the game on Tuesday, but on Thursday. So what did we learn? So yeah, so all right. Speaking of all, I will say this: our game against Chile and Bolivia didn't really matter because Brazil have qualified, so it wouldn't matter if we win, lose. So the game against Chile, we decided to start we decided to give Esteval a chance to start on his favorite position, right, as Vinny Rodrigo gets rested. Militao was watching from the stands and wasn't really playing for but yeah, so yeah, I thought Brazil we got a 3-0 win against Chile. I would say that Brazil, Esteval scoring his first goal is wonderful. Nice to see the back heel goal, which was kind of crossed in from crossball from Rafinha, I think, the link-up play. Or I think it was him. And yeah, and yes, and the game ended 3-0. And it was 1-0 for most of the game. Until the second half, Carlo Ancelotti decided to make some subs, bringing on Lucas Paquetá. Luis Enrique was the impact, getting like one assist, making a through ball as well here and there. Did an impact. Former Botafogo player is now at Saint. I forgot that Russian club's name. I don't know if it's St. Petersburg or I forgot. He did an impact. He was great. Yeah. Lucas Paquetá making moments of his own. Bruno Guimarães scoring as well. Yep. So 2-3-0. And I know some people were questioning about some positions here and there, but I thought Brazil had a solid game against Chile. I know this is a week in Chile. Like, listen, Chile, their downfall has to be Suddy, because this is not the Chile of the golden generation that we all knew 10 years ago. Those days are long gone, and it's over for the Alexis Sanchez era, as you guys know. So yeah, moving on. So yeah, I thought that there could have been like some creativity, but even though as well, I know some people that want to drop Casemiro, or yeah, for me, of course, Carlo, it's up to Carlo to like fix up. I get it, we were resting some players. Rafinha, he had an okay game, like I said. But I want to move on into but yeah, this was a 3-0 win at the Maracanã, keeping 3 clean sheets. And then we had to visit Bolivia away, which I want to mention this. Unfortunately for Brazil, we lose 1-0 against Bolivia. And you know what? I have some mixed feelings. Yeah, for me, it didn't matter. The players, they didn't take it seriously. They didn't win full 100%. I will say a few things. First of all, I would like to say congrats to Bolivia. Congrats to Bolivia on making the World Cup playoff spot with this new format for the first time ever in its history. Fair play to Bolivia. as Bolivia had like one of its worst moments, and they somehow qualified over Venezuela. I'm shocked, honestly. As Colombia destroyed Venezuela 6-3. On that day as well, at the same time, we kind of gifted Bolivia a free pass to the World Cup spot, which good luck to them. Yeah. And I know I couldn't have access to the game because I didn't want to spend money on Fanati's, because on the pay-per-view, $30 per match is an absolute joke. So that's why I couldn't watch the match. But I thought Carlo could have played Hugo Cerda in goal. There wasn't no need for Alisson. Yes, Alisson had a great game, as always, doing his thing. But I thought Hugo Cerda should have gotten minutes, or at least he should have played in one of those two games. I know that they were just trying to say that he was trying to get rested, or I don't know if I think he might have went to the Bolivia game because the following day he needed to return to Sao Paulo immediately because Corinthians were about to take on Atletico Paranaense in the second leg of Copa do Brasil, which we're gonna cover that, which we're gonna make a video. I'll make a video about this hopefully tomorrow as of recording this. But yeah, sorry if I couldn't do any images because I'm just trying to upload here and there, so that's why I have problems. So just to let you know, it's not. So yeah, so I have to explain it. I know it's really, but I will try to do one for the next one, as I'm trying to like do work and all that. So I'm trying to like do everything, guys. So yeah, but back to the video. Yeah, we didn't took the game seriously. We did ask. We started in 11. Esteban, Rafinha, Marquinhos eventually came on, but nothing was done. We had a few chances. Bolivia outplayed us. They had 10 shots on target, apparently, if I'm correct. We definitely got outplayed, but Alisson looked good, saving all open play goals, avoiding them to. So far, we haven't conceded from open play, which is a great sign. Even in Bolivia at a high altitude, I have no idea why FIFA allows Bolivia to be at high ground. Well, if it's the only option, I'm not gonna blame it unless 100 or 90% of the country is like at a high altitude, then I kind of don't blame them. But the problem is Bolivia, it's a hard place to go there. I believe there was only 2 national teams that won, Argentina and Ecuador. We're the only 2 national teams that beat Bolivia away. And yes, it's a hard place to go through. It's one of the hardest places to visit on this planet. But the game didn't really matter. We did beat them 5-1 back at home 2 years ago in the first World Cup qualifiers. So yeah, as the campaign ends. So yeah. So third of all, I would say, what else did we learn? So yeah, we did help Bolivia, as we decided to not help Venezuela. So yeah, I just think the team needs like some improvements. Maybe Casemiro, the performances you could say is questionable. I thought he could still be called up, but like Carlo, as we all know, we do have the World Cup is literally, as we're recording this, 9 months away. So Carlo has 9 months to prepare, as we're going to take on friendlies like Japan and South Korea, which I want to take these games seriously, especially South Korea, taking on good North American CONCACAF opponents, like beating the U.S. 2-0, drawing Mexico 2-2, the current CONCACAF Gold Cup champions. Yup. And Japan drew 0-0 and with Mexico, and they lost, and they put on their B or C team against the U.S. and lost 2-0 because of that. And yeah, so yeah, I just hope that we could like improve. So yeah, improve some things, like, feel free to let me know what else in the comments. I thought Kyle Jorginho should have played more, but he did have to play in the Copa do Brazil match. He did play like a couple minutes here and there, including the game against Chile. I kind of forgot, but he did have a few minutes against Bolivia, where he did start it. I know he couldn't handle the altitude pressure, so I forgot if he played the full 90 minutes, but I couldn't blame him. But he could have started against Chile, honestly, at the Maracanã at home, because Bolivia was just too altitude. And plus, he did have to do for Copa do Brazil for Crusaders, finishing against their biggest rivals, Atletico Mineiro, which I'm going to do a video about that for sure. So Kyle Jorginho, I'm excited what he will do. Really great call up. Hopefully Carlo could also try to call out more strikers like Victor Roque from Palmeiras and Junior Alberto from Rivals Corinthians. I don't know if they'll restart calling Pedro from Flamengo, but we'll see. But like interesting options here and there. João Pedro, I thought he was a bit tired coming back from the international break, which I will do Brazil and abroad. João Pedro, he did kind of have a couple link-up plays to linking up with Esteval and all that, and which is showing me some great sign, which means hopefully that it means that it's improving in an actual good form. So yeah, but here's what we learned. Here's another thing. So yeah, so as the World Cup cycle didn't matter, Brazil, unfortunately, they finished 5th at the end of the table. Like I said, Colombia beat Venezuela 6-3. They won back-to-back games with 3 goals. We finished 5th. And like, it's kind of non-impressive. And for the first time in history, looks like, Brazil has now gotten less than 30 points in the World Cup qualifier campaign for the first time in its history, apparently, or like when we had a bad one. But yeah, I'm glad this campaign is over. Even though we just didn't have a proper manager back then, honestly, with the Fernandes, that Umpimor was trying to, have it both ways, coaching this and that, Fluminense and Brazil at the same time. We all know how it went, and then well, he's at Vasco, and and then David All Jr. Yep, just not having those great ideas. Carlo with the influidity. So yeah, Carlo, if he's not gonna use tactics, I hope the vibes and man management of greatness, hopefully that could work out, because I am impressed somewhat more. But it's just especially things haven't gone well with Real Madrid, and as Xabi Alonso does his thing, improving the squad, the performance on the pitch, I just hope that he can find another idea. So yeah. Oh well, we all know Don Carlo has the experience. We all know that even without tactics, at least he knows his players really well, especially the Madrid guys. It's that simple. Of course, he watched them. So yeah, hopefully he could try to do somewhat of a tactical adjustment. So yeah, but here's the thing. We finished less than 30 points. It's not a great sign, and here's the thing. With the old World Cup format, since we finished 5th, behind Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia, Ecuador, and who else? Yeah, those are the 4. We were behind them. And especially Ecuador, they've been on the rise. And they started off with 3 minus points. look, they're just playing much better ball slightly. I'm not gonna lie. So I just hope Carlo could like improve some things and like find a way to adjust this. I'll be trying to bring up my possible solution. I'll think about it. But yeah, but with the old World Cup formats, if this was played, we would only qualify for the Intercontinental Playoffs like Bolivia. So we only finished 2 spots Bolivia, even though we finished, we're 10 points ahead of Bolivia. But unfortunately, we were in the middle between Bolivia and Argentina, despite the spots closer. So I'm just hoping that Carlo can fix up for good. This is a must, because next week, next window, my bad, in October, things are gonna get serious. Japan, you know what? Japan are not doing well, so you know what? We have to do everything. I want that victory, Japan. I won't mind if we draw South Korea. I think South Korea has been the better of two. So yeah, I just think that we learned some mistakes. Yeah, I know Carlo mixing up shins, including Cal Jargin trying to go more like not just 7 forward, but like right wing or moving players around. So yeah, I just hope Carlo could get the best. I'm just okay with it. I didn't mind if we lost to Bolivia, even though it was kind of a bad look. I'll let it slide, especially it's only been Carlo's 4th game. So I bet Carlo is enjoying it. Carlo, the job was better than I expected. Absolutely, yeah. Because that's probably what he needed. So yeah, pick up everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you watch Tactical Managers TV video. I'll put the link in the description if I can. Big up. I'm out of here.